Usually when I start the video, we are talking over there in my dining area. But today we're going to be starting the video in my kitchen, which is messy. And we're going to be going outside because I have a couple of things to talk to you about. This video is sponsored by CK Mondavi and Family wines. I am an ambassador for them, and we're going to be talking about chilled, refreshing white wine, ripe summer tomatoes, heat indexes of 117 degrees, and there was one more thing. Oh, southern porches and things that don't go the way that you expect them to. So I'm going to pour myself a glass of wine, and you grab a drink too, and let's head outside for some of that 117 degree weather so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So y'all, that's the back of our property. We have about 2.5 acres and it's on a creek. It's desperately in need of some landscaping and some tender loving care, but my husband and I and kids, nobody has time for that stuff. And so yeah, so when all of this started, I was talking to CK Mondavi and Family, the company, about white wine and how refreshing it was during the summer. And when we were talking about doing the video, I said, you know, I think it's much too hot to do like yard games or anything like that in Texas at that time of year. Let me just sit on the front porch and in my rocker and talk to them about, you know, the South and watching the world go by from your porch. And they said, Mary, that's a great idea. And then life happened, and welcome to my porch. Now, our house was built in between 1905 and 1910, and it was cut in 4 pieces and moved 20 miles in 1950. During that move, it lost its upper story. This was actually kind of a Victorian 4-square kind of conglomeration. And it lost its upper story, and so they just put the dormers on it. So it's a little weird looking, but you know, we love it. But the porch was horrible, really horrible. And I knew that I wanted to get something done with it. Well, when I scheduled the porch, or when I talked to the person that's doing our porch, I didn't realize that they were going to schedule it for the week that I was going to be doing this video. So rather than sitting on my front porch and talking to y'all about how nice it is just to sit and relax on the front porch, I'm going to tell you that my front porch is going to look amazing when it's done, but we're not going to be sitting up there today. We're going to be going back into the kitchen and talking about all of the things. All right, so come on along with me there. Let's get out of this heat and let's talk. Okay, y'all. So when it's hot, when your heat index is 117 degrees or higher, cooking, it doesn't sound like a fun thing to do. And honestly, eating something hot also doesn't sound like a fun thing to do. If you're in Texas, you understand what I mean. If you're in some of the other states, you might not understand at all. But once we hit the middle of July and August, we pretty much close down the kitchen and eat lots and lots of salads and sandwiches. So today I am going to, and I kind of fought with myself over this because what I'm going to make it so easy. I was like, they're not going to want a video of this, but I thought you might like to see my house. and what we're doing on the porch. I thought, you know, I'd share that with you. And really, tomato sandwich, it's an art. People do it different ways. They use different kinds of tomatoes. They spread the bread with different things. And so I just want to show you my version of a tomato sandwich. And oddly enough, one of the things that's really delicious with a tomato sandwich is a ice cold glass of white wine, like a crisp one, like a Sauvignon Blanc or a Pinot Grigio, which is what I like to drink in the summertime because it's so cool and refreshing. And I like mine icy cold. I know some people don't like it quite that cold, and there are wine rules to follow, but I like mine icy cold. So give this a try. It's super easy. So here's what you do. You've got your wine. You get yourself a big old fat tomato. Now, I wish I could say that these were homegrown. I used to grow tomatoes, but I don't anymore. So, but these are very ripe. They're vine ripe. They're local. They are not heirloom, but here's the thing. So you want a kind of a big beefy tomato, and a lot of the heirlooms are perfect for this. The heirloom tomatoes tend to be, depending on the type, tend to be a little sweeter than the commercial tomatoes. So try a lot of different tomatoes. Definitely hit up your farmers markets and those roadside stands if you can get to them. We don't have a lot of those in Dallas, so I'm pretty dependent on the grocery store. Now, some people like to cut these really, really thick, but I do not. I like my tomato sandwich, I like my tomatoes to be cut very much on the thin side, and I like to layer them. So I guess I'm cutting these maybe a little over 1/4 of an inch. You're gonna need a super sharp knife, and you're gonna pay attention to what you're doing. And how many you put on your sandwich is up to you. How many you have to cut is kind of dependent on how big your tomato is. So we're gonna put that knife aside because we're not gonna need it, and we're gonna put this aside. I have here just plain mayonnaise. That's it. Plain old mayonnaise. This happens to be Hellmann's because that's what I use. They are not sponsoring this, but you know, personally, when I lived in the Southeast, it was Duke's. And since I've lived in Texas, it's been Hellmann's, and that's kind of the way it is. Now, you want to get your bread. Some people like it toasted. Some people like it just plain. I am a soft white bread tomato sandwich person. If it's going to be toasted, I want bacon and lettuce on it too. So, and sometimes I'll use one of my homemade breads. I have a basil white bread that's delicious with this. But when I was thinking about doing the video and thinking about doing the recipe, I thought, you know, this is summertime. Nobody wants to bake bread. So this fall, if y'all remind me, I will, I'll post my recipe for the basil bread. But for right now, this is just plain old from the store white bread, okay? Put a nice layer of mayonnaise on it. Now, I like it thick. If you don't like it thick, then by all means, spread it thin. Some people use butter instead of mayonnaise. I think that's weird, but you do you. All right, so we've got our layer of bread and mayonnaise. I'm gonna put a little salt on it. That's Himalayan pink salt. I'm gonna put lots of pepper on it because I like pepper. Again, if you don't like pepper, don't worry about it. Then I'm gonna start laying on my tomatoes, and I'm going to overlap them to keep the sandwich nice and thick, and make sure everything is, all of the bread is covered there. And then, because I'm extra, I'm gonna put another layer of mayonnaise on the other slice of bread. I like mayonnaise. And I'm going to put salt and pepper on my sandwich. Put the top on. Make sure that everything's in. Kind of push all of that stuff together. There. And then I'm gonna press it down a little bit and cut it. I like my sandwiches cut on a diagonal. I think that they taste better that way. You get more surface area. There's a lot of scientific reasons, but honestly, it's just because I like my sandwich cut on a diagonal. And then because tomato sandwiches can be kind of messy, I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna cut it again into 4 triangles. This is how I like them. Once that's done, I'm gonna stick a toothpick and a toothpick and a toothpick and a toothpick just to keep them together. I'm going to grab my lovely sandwich plate and I am going to arrange my beautiful tomato sandwich on the plate. Now, a tomato sandwich is one of those things that you don't want to make and leave to sit for very long, because guess what's going to happen? Yep, it's going to get soggy. Now, you see this little place right there? That's where my glass of wine goes. Nice, handy. I can sit out on the porch with that, or I can sit in the kitchen with that and talk to y'all, which is what I'm about to do. So, can you think of an easier or more refreshing summer lunch or light dinner than these tomato sandwiches and the Sauvignon Blanc or Pinot Grigio, whichever you prefer? I can't. This is delicious. It's light, it's refreshing, and you know, it just tastes like the country. You know, it just tastes like summer to me. The tomatoes are super juicy. They're a little bit sweet, and they have a little bit of tanginess. And then when you sip the wine, it comes in with kind of almost, not sour, but almost an astringent that clears your palate and gets you ready for the next bite. Salty, sweet, delicious. If you've never tried a tomato sandwich, you definitely want to try one. And if you eat tomato sandwiches, try it my way, all right? I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all next time, okay? All right, bye-bye.